What's up, everybody? We're back. NFL picks and predictions. Week 9. Week 8 was a doozy. So we're going to get right into it. But before we do, gentlemen, tell them who you are and where they can find you.
I'm Brandon J. McDermott. You can find me all over social media at Brandon J. McDermott.
And I'm Matt Brown. You can find me on social media at the Ohana Jones.
And for anybody that's wondering, I'm Matt. You can find me all over the place as Beard Laws. Let's jump right into the first game. You have the Jets traveling to Indianapolis, and the Colts are currently a 10-point favorite.
Well, look, the Colts had it. They had multiple chances to beat the Titans this past Sunday and instead watched it slip away. Look, the Jets looked so good in their win against a great Bengals team, but let's not forget that they gave up over 50 points to the Patriots, and the last time they won, they lost to the Falcons the next week. So something tells me that the Colts will be mad and look to crush the Jets in this one.
Yeah, the Jets coming off a big win last week, and I think they're in for a big letdown this week. I do like the Colts to cover at home.
Jets with a win, something that we didn't think we'd say too many times on this. But either way, I like the Jets to keep it somewhat close to given 10 points. I'm hoping they can keep up with that. In the next game, we have the real team from New York. We have the Buffalo Bills traveling down to sunny Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, and they are currently a 14-point favorite on the road.
We all know how good the Bills are, and that even with 2 losses, they still got the best margin of victory in the league. And the Jags are, well, the Jags. Maybe without James Robinson this week even, they've been averaging double-digit losses this season. So I easily like the Bills to win big in this one.
This game is in Jacksonville, and the home team usually has an advantage, but I expect the Bills to cover, as the Jaguars are just not a team you can really put your finger on with any certainty when it comes to positivity. I mean, it's just a lot of uncertainty and a lot of bad play. So again, I'm taking the Bills to cover easily.
I think this is going to be our first unanimous where we all agree. I like the Bills to win big here, cover that spread. That's our first unanimous of the week. Next game, we have Minnesota, who's traveling to Baltimore, and Baltimore is currently a 5-point favorite at home.
The Vikings were beat by a Cowboys team led by Cooper Rush under center. Now, they faced a Ravens team coming off a bye and looking to prove themselves after their Week 7 rough loss against the Bengals. They're also 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 home games against the teams with a losing record, which the Vikings fit in now.
And the Vikings are playing pretty good, almost beating the Cowboys last weekend, but the Ravens are nearly unstoppable at home. I expect the Ravens to control the clock, to control the game, and to cover the spread.
I'm going to have to agree with you. Minnesota, 5. I don't think quite enough. I think that line is going to change a little bit, but I like Baltimore with the 5. We also have Atlanta that is next. They are 5.5-point underdog traveling to New Orleans. All right, what do you guys think on this one?
I actually don't care who the quarterback is for the Saints here. I've turned around on them, seeing that they were able to beat the defending champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That defense is legit, and the Falcons will be without Calvin Ridley, by the way, so I actually like the Saints a lot in this one.
And the Falcons have not seemed to be able to find any kind of rhythm this year. And with Calvin Ridley out last week and potentially again this week, it's going to throw a wrench into their plans. The Saints, meanwhile, could be starting Taysom Hill. Either way, I'm going to go with the Saints to cover at home.
Not because I don't want to agree with you for the third time. The Braves, they're going to bring home the World Series. They're going to keep that momentum going. Atlanta is going to upset the Saints. Not only are they going to win, but they're going to cover that spread. The Saints need to find some rhythm. The Falcons aren't great, but I think they're good enough to upset them. New England Patriots, they're playing well. Bill Belichick has the boys playing. They're going to go to Carolina as a 3.5-point road favorite.
Look, another team that I question who the quarterback will be is the Panthers with Sam Darnold in concussion protocol. And again, I don't think it matters for this game against the Patriots. Christian McCaffrey could be back, and I still don't think it matters. The New England defense looks closer and closer to the championship defenses of old, and I think they can handle whatever Carolina throws at them this week.
And as Matt alluded to, Christian McCaffrey could be back in this game, but with how the Patriots have been playing, I'm leaning towards taking them at home and the spread here. They just topped off the Chargers in a pretty big win last weekend. So again, I'm going to take the Patriots.
Let's agree again, because I love the Patriots here at this 3.5. Like Matt and Brandon said, there's just too many question marks with this Carolina team right now. Even if he does come back, how effective is he? Give him another week off. He deserves it. Then we have the Raiders, who are traveling to Jersey to take on the New York Giants on a short week, and the Raiders are currently a 3-point favorite.
I actually think the Raiders will keep playing as well as they have been, and the Giants provide a nice defense to play against. coming off a bye week. I think the Raiders could win big in this one.
I'm taking the Giants. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. The Raiders are coming off a bye week, and I expect them to cover easily at home against the Giants, who's just been, again, another inconsistent team.
This is just an episode week 9 of let's all pick unanimous. I think that this week is a favorable week. So if we're all agreeing on them, I feel like you should agree with us. I love it. I like the Raiders -3. That's a good line. All right, let's talk about a little AFC North matchup. We have the Cleveland Browns as a 3-point underdog traveling to Cincy after that terrible loss to the Jets.
Look, I'm not going to deny that the Bengals look bad against the Jets, but the Browns didn't impress either against the Steelers. I think Joe Burrow and company will look to air it out since Big Ben got 266 passing yards against Cleveland. So combine the Cincy offensive firepower with the fact that they're 4-0 against the spread following a straight up loss. I think I like the Bengals in this one.
I don't think we can understate how big of a letdown it was for the Bengals last weekend after a huge win the week before. And when it comes to a rivalry game, this one never gets its due across the league. I expect a very close back and forth game, but I do expect the Bengals to pull it out and to cover just barely at home.
Let's agree again, because that's the theme of this episode. Cincinnati not only broke so many people's wallets, but in the survivor pools, a huge percentage of people picked Cincinnati. It was just a huge letdown game. But somebody once came on this and said, hey, bettors, short-term memory where you focus on the week, not all of the weeks. And let's be honest, Cincinnati, yeah, they had a little bit of a letdown game, but they are the better team here. -3, I think that is a great line for them. And we got the Denver Broncos, Brandon's beloved Broncos, traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are currently an 8.5-point favorite at home.
It may not matter if Dak Prescott plays or not in this game because of the big trade that sent Von Miller away from the Broncos. That's a big piece missing from this defense now, going against a Cowboys team that's still undefeated against the spread this year. I like the Cowboys no matter how this line moves.
Wait a minute, there was a trade? No, I'm kidding. I spent my afternoon crying. Trust me, it was a big tough blow. These two franchises are at two very different spots. One in rebuilding mode, obviously trading away their best player, and the other chasing a title. The Broncos clearly know this year is not a year they're going to be a contender in. So I like the Cowboys at home to cover.
The line already went from 7 to 8.5, mainly because of the trade. But I'm going to tell you what, Dallas says, you know what? They don't have Von Miller. And they let up just enough that they're still going to win. But at this 8.5 point, I think Denver is at least good enough to keep this somewhat close, cover that spread. So I like Denver on the road here covering the spread. I don't know if even Texan or Dolphin fans even want to watch this, but Houston is traveling to Miami. Miami at home is a 7-point favorite.
I don't think I want anything to do with this game. I mean, if I had to, I'll point to the fact that the Dolphins kept up with the Bills for 3 quarters before letting it get away. The Texans only had a good 4th quarter against the Rams, 2nd and 3rd stringers. I mean, I think Miami needs this win more than the Texans do, but I'm actually going to make a reverse here, and I think Houston will show some fight. This is just a little too many points for me. I like the Texans to cover here.
The Dolphins get their chance against the lowly Texans. It's the game we've been playing all year. Who's going to have the big spread? This is the smallest line we've seen this year against the Texans by any team that at least I remember. In Miami, I expect the Dolphins to cover, even if Bob Greasy were to come out of retirement and play quarterback.
The spread on this opened at 7, still at 7, so Vegas is very confident in it. I'm not confident in Houston. I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins. They've played some tougher competition. I feel like they are definitely the better team. I like them to cover the spread at home. Let's talk about this next one. We have the Chargers currently at a 2.5-point favorite on the road against the Eagles.
Look, as much as the limelight can be shown on Justin Herbert for their 2 consecutive losses, I think this matchup can come down to defense. The Chargers have one of the worst run defenses in the league, and the Eagles control games and get wins like they did this past Sunday if they're able to run with their new tandem of Boston Scott and Jordan Howard with, of course, Jalen Hurts, their quarterback, getting in his work. So I like the Eagles here.
The Eagles played very well last week against the Lions, but who doesn't? The Chargers, meanwhile, have lost 2 straight, but they do play well on the road. So I'm taking them to cover here and get those trains back on the right track.
I know that I've been picking Philly because of some people that say, hey, every time you go with Philly, they do well, they win. But I can't just continue doing that forever. I really do like the Chargers here on the road. And like you said, Chargers, after losing 2, they can't lose 3 in a row. They're just too good, in my opinion. So I like the Chargers on the road cover that spread. We have Arizona currently at a 2.5-point favorite, traveling to take on the Niners.
This has bounce back game written all over it. The Niners are coming off a pretty good win against the Bears, but that doesn't convince me that they can beat a mad Cardinals team. Plus, all of their wins have come on the road, seeing that they're at home in this one, and Arizona won their first matchup this year by a touchdown, makes me lean towards Kyler Murray and company here.
Yeah, the Cardinals had a tough loss last week against the Packers, and they're facing the 49ers on the road in a big rivalry game. But no matter how the 49ers are playing this year, this game will go down to the wire, but I'm taking the Cards to cover on the road.
The Cardinals are clearly the better team, but Murray could potentially miss this game, which I think does sway the line. Obviously, he's a huge piece of this. So I'm going to say that he misses this game. You heard it here first. Murray is not going to play this week, and the Niners are going to win. The spread is going to change. So just keep an eye on this one. In my opinion, I think you wait a little bit before you take any action on this just to see Murray's status. But again, you heard it here first. He's going to be out this week, and the Niners are going to get the win and cover. This game has me intrigued. You have the Green Bay Packers at Kansas City. Kansas City, who currently is a 2.5-point favorite at home.
Like, the amount that Aaron Rodgers could do without Devontae Adams gives me confidence that he could do even more with him and against the porous Chiefs defense. Kansas City is also on a short week, while Green Bay has had some extra days. So everything points Green Bay's way here, and I'm inclined to go with it.
You know, I know that it's on the road for the Packers, and I know these Chiefs were the Super Bowl champions last year, and I know for some reason Vegas just loves them. But the Chiefs have not been themselves this year. However, they are still the favorite here at home, but I'm taking Aaron Rodgers in the pack to win, and I don't think it's going to be close.
I'm thinking different. I think the Chiefs get some momentum. They get their confidence back. I think the Chiefs win this game, and they cover the spread at home. And this is the game that they get back on track. Tennessee travels to take on the Rams. The Rams are currently a 7.5-point favorite.
This game got increasingly worse looking for the Titans, with Derrick Henry sustaining a potential season-ending injury, and the Rams trading some picks away for, well, a Super Bowl MVP and Von Miller. Sorry, Brandon. I hope you've jumped on this matchup already, because I think the Rams are ready to win big in this one.
Yeah, it was a big matchup, which was made even bigger with that trade of Von Miller to the Rams this week. That defense could be scary good heading into the playoffs, but first they do need to gel in the regular season. I don't know if they're going to come off firing on all cylinders this Sunday, but I do expect them to get off on the right foot at home against the Titans. I think the Rams do cover.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you guys. The line jumped from 4.5 to 7.5 already. I think the line moves a little bit. I like the Rams right now, that 7.5. I think they are definitely a 10-point or better team, because they don't even know who's going to be running right now in Tennessee. They're in shambles. I think they're even talking about signing Adrian Peterson. I agree with you guys, because that's the theme of this one. I like the Rams. You have the Bears traveling to take on Pittsburgh. This is a 6.5-point spread right now, with the Steelers favorite at home.
Look, really interesting here, as Justin Fields is coming off his best performance, and the Steelers were able to edge the Browns. But Pittsburgh is 0-6 against the spread in their last 6 home games as the favorite. So the Bears defense could keep them in it, as well as, well, it's just a Monday night game and crazy things can happen. So I like the Bears here.
I think this is the episode, as Matt called it, that we're all going to agree. The Bears and the Steelers. Steelers coming off a big win, and the Bears coming off a loss. I expect the Steelers to win, but I don't expect them to cover, as Justin Fields has looked a little better this last game. He found he's a good running threat, and maybe has found some tread he's comfortable with. I don't think they're going to win, but I don't expect the Steelers to cover here.
Steelers, again, that number 0-6 against the spread at home is tough. 6.5. I think it's already shifted a couple of points. Man, Pittsburgh doesn't have a lot of love in the spread department. I like the Bears to keep it somewhat close, but still lose. We're gonna just agree with you guys. 6.5 points, Bears cover. And as we do at the end of each episode, if you skipped all of the advice, you can go ahead and go back at this point and just see what each matchup. But this is the point in the episode where we give you our 3 locks of the week. These are going to be our 3 top locks, just for anybody that skipped ahead.
I like the Bills over the Jaguars. I mean, all day, every day there. Cardinals over the 49ers. I just do think bounce back game is written all over this for the Cardinals. And then Rams over Titans. I mean, we were just talking about how the Rams and Von Miller should be able to get things going pretty quickly.
So my 3 are the Cowboys over the Broncos covering, Chiefs losing to the Packers, and again, I'm going to agree with Matt here, the Rams over the Titans.
Cincy, -2.5. I really like. New England, -3.5. I really like that one. And as you said, our unanimous lock of the week is going to be the Rams. We all love it. If you guys want to go back to a couple of the other episodes, our unanimous and our locks of the weeks, they're pretty good. We do know what we're talking about. Thank you guys very much for watching this. And if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments. We are pretty active in responding and trying to help you guys the best that we can. So fellas, tell us again where they can find you.
Matt Brown, at the Ohana Jones everywhere.
Brandon J. McDermott. You can find me on social media. You can also find me in my kitchen feeding this furry guy.
Heyo! And I am Matt. You can find me everywhere at Beard Laws. We'll see you next week, week 10. Have a great one, everybody.